Hello, I'm CJ Werleman, and in this episode, we unravel the great Iranian hoax that has many believing the so-called axis of resistance will somehow come to the rescue of Palestine. But first, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our show. Now let's get into it. I want to preface my remarks by saying that some of you are not going to like what I have to say in this episode. But I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to tell the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it makes you and how unpopular it makes me. But more to the point, we take great pride from knowing that you learn things on this show that you won't learn on other podcasts and programs, mostly because we have license to criticize all governments, given we never have and never will accept a single dollar of funding from any regime. We are entirely independent media, funded exclusively by you, our viewers. It's also important that you know that a guiding principle of this program is our firm belief that the global Muslim population will never fully live without freedom from fear and freedom from want until the Muslim Ummah is completely united. And that standing in the way of this lofty aspiration are self-serving dictatorships, malevolent monarchies, and hyper-sectarian theocracies. And to that end, we also oppose any form of sectarianism, seeing religious schisms in the Muslim world as a direct byproduct of European-manufactured divide and rule strategies. These policies are reflected in our content. We have revealed the treacherous betrayal of the Palestinian people and the Islamic religion have suffered at the hands of the Arab Gulf regimes. But today, we unpack and unravel the greatest lie ever told about Palestine since October 7th. That the so-called axis of resistance will save Gaza and eventually liberate the occupied territories, or at least try to. This axis constitutes the Iranian regime and its proxy forces, Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthi militias in Yemen, and the Assad dictatorship in Syria. But these regimes and militias are the enemies of Muslims, including the Palestinians, which we will reveal in great detail. Put simply, everything you hope the axis of resistance to be is Iranian regime-generated propaganda. And every leader in the Middle East knows this.
الفرس تعاونوا مع العرب ضد اليهود والصهاينة في كل مراحل الصدام بين الأمة وبين الصهاينة وبين المسلمين وبين الصهاينة كان الفرس هم حلفاء للصهاينة. شنو هذا ننخدع مجرد الشعار الشيطان الأكبر.
You see, whereas Arab regimes openly side with Israel, Iran and its proxies not only pretend to hate Israel, but also secretly help the Zionist state expand and entrench its illegal settlements in the occupied Palestinian territories, while also helping the ultra-Zionist Likud party stay in power. And whatever the current Israeli and Iranian governments say about each other publicly is little more than political theatrics, meant only for domestic consumption. This is not speculation, nor is it a conspiracy, it's just a straight-up provable fact, as revealed by a former Israeli spy in this tell-all book in which Ari Ben-Bernacchi explains how the United States used Israel as a middleman for its secret arms deals with Iran in the 1980s and 1990s. His claims are supported by US government documents, which declare that Iran purchased $240 billion worth of weapons in today's dollars from the United States via Israel in the years spanning 1981 to 1987 alone. $240 billion is 240 times what the United States handed Israel last week. The nature of these secret deals was exposed by former Iranian security director Mohsen Kangalu when he admitted that Iran's only major military victory over Iraq after 1982 came directly as a result of US-Israeli support.
سوال من اینه که آیا بدون 11,000 قطعه موشک ضد هوایی هاک که از انبارهای اسرائیلی آمریکایی دادن امکان سرنوشت از ارمن رد شد؟
اصلا نبود. الان همه میگن اصلا نبود.
Israel used the profits from these arms deals with Iran for three purposes. Fund the ultra-Zionist Likud party. Fund false terror attacks in the occupied Palestinian territories to tie Palestinians to terrorism and therefore tarnish the Palestinian cause in the West, and to build more illegal settlements in the West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem. Evidence for such claims is also documented by my friend Trita Parsi, who's widely regarded as the preeminent expert on Iranian politics in the United States today. He notes here that at the same time Iran was secretly dealing with the government of Israel, it was openly condemning the Jewish state and questioning its right to exist. As I said before, political theatrics indeed. Now watch former Israeli intelligence officer Aaron Yariv explain why Israel publicly bashed Iran while secretly supporting the regime in its war against Iraq.
We do not have an interest in a clear-cut smashing Iraqi victory. A clear-cut smashing Iraqi victory, making Iraq the power in the Persian Gulf, might free its energies also to look towards us, if not only for the reason that Iraq wants to play will then want to fulfill its leading role in the Arab world. And you know that if one wants to play a leading role in the Arab world, he has to tackle the Israeli problem as well.
Okay, look, it's also true that Iran smuggles weapons into Gaza to help Hamas. But what's also equally true is Israel has propped up Hamas for years, with Netanyahu recently boasting that his government sees Hamas as an essential tool to keep the Palestinians divided, therefore killing any prospect of a future independent Palestinian state.
Saying Benjamin Netanyahu deliberately boosted Hamas to try to prevent a Palestinian state.
Yeah, sure. He deliberately and systematically even told, on record, whoever wants to avoid the threat of a two-state solution has to support my policy of paying protection money to the Hamas.
As for Iranian weapons, the Iranian regime doesn't give weapons to Hamas because it actually gives one single care about Palestinians. It does so for its own self-serving purposes, to enhance its reputation among the Arab street, with the aim of sowing discord amongst its arch rivals, namely the Arab Gulf monarchies. Also, the weapons Iran gives Hamas comes with many strings attached, including the number one condition that Hamas support Iran's expansionist policies and imperialist project in the Middle East. And when Hamas refused to support the viciously sectarian Assad regime in Syria because it was mass murdering and displacing Sunni Muslims, including 4,000 Palestinians in Yarmouk, the Iranian regime cut off its financial support to Hamas and other Palestinian resistant groups as punishment. Which is why Hamas militants talk openly about their hatred for Assad and Iranian influence in Syria. And what Hamas hates most is how Iran is an expansionist regime that kills Muslims in collaboration with Israel. You need to understand this, that the Iranian government is a hyper-sectarian regime that's still mass murdering and displacing Sunni Muslims in Syria, Yemen and Iraq to pave the way for a sectarian superstate. Which begs the question, how do the Palestinians fit into Iran's grand plan for a Shia superstate when 99% of Palestinians are Sunni Muslim? Well, you can find the answer to that question when you hear how Iranian militia leaders speak about Sunni Muslims in Iraq.
إلى يومنا هذا منبع الإرهاب. لا فيها الشيخ عشاء إلا ما ندر آدمي، ما فيها إنسان وطني، ما فيها إنسان دين ملتزم، حتى في مذهب السنة ملتزم ماكو. فهي الآن فرصتنا لتطهير العراق باستئصال ورم الفلوج. تطهير العراق، تطهير الإسلام في العالم كله.
You just heard the word purify. This is just another word for sectarian cleansing. The same kind of cleansing operations that Iran helped the Assad regime carry out in Aleppo, Homs and Houta. Now here's another Iranian militia leader in Iraq saying they will even side with Israel against Arab countries.
العراق تحكمه حكومة تكنوقراط، حكومة ديمقراطية ما مرتبطة لا بالولي الفقيه ولا بمرجعية. إذا الحكومة مالتنا قررت أنه تقاتل، أنا جاي أجاوبك جواب صريح وواضح. إذا قررت تقاتل الإمام المعصوم أنا مع الإمام المعصوم ضدها. مع الإمام المعصوم ضدها. إذا الإمام المعصوم هسه بالهند وراد يقاتل العراق فأنا أصير ويا الهند. إذا الإمام المعصوم صار ويا أمريكا وراد يقاتل العراق أنا أصير ويا أمريكا. إذا الإمام المعصوم صار ويا إسرائيل وقاتل العراق أنا قانوني أنه مع المعصوم.
The machinations of this Iranian-Israeli alliance against Arabs and Muslims was also revealed by the former head of Iraqi intelligence, who explained how every time Iraq struck Iran, Israel would respond by bombing Iraq.
احنا وقوفنا امام ايران لان ايران راح تحقق لقاء مع الدوافع الصهيونية مع إسرائيل، لأن اثنينهم لهم مصالح بالمنطقة وإلهم أدوار مختلفة، كل واحد عنده دور. فتلاحظ أنه تهجم إيران، إسرائيل تضرب المفاعل، تجد أن هذه فرصة. يعني هذه مسألة، لأن هم واحد يعرف مصالح الثاني. لأن إسرائيل تعرف أن لإيران مصالح طائفية، وتعرف بنفس الوقت أن تأثير إيران في الدول الإسلامية أكثر من تأثيرها هي. إيران تجي للدول العربية والإسلامية من خلال العامل الديني. هم مصالحهم اثنينها مصالح خاصة، كل واحد يريد يوسع دائرة طموح.
It's important that we take a moment here to recognize that ties between Netanyahu's party and Iran remain in place today, as evident by a report in an Iranian state-controlled publication which stated the Iranian government helped the Likud party spark protests against then Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett in 2021. Look, there's so much to cover here, but what's important to understand is how Israel, Iran, and the United States have secretly worked and conspired together for years, while at the same time publicly calling each other the Great Satan, the Great Menace, or whatever else. And if you're now thinking, oh yeah, but what about when Iran struck Israel with a salvo of missiles last month? Or what about when the Houthis targeted ships of pro-Israel countries in the Red Sea? Or what about Hezbollah's resistance operations along Israel's northern border? Well, each one of these operations amount to little more than Iranian political theatre. Acts that are meant only to excite and energize the Arab street with more axis of resistance propaganda, while doing absolutely nothing to help the Palestinian people in Gaza. Iran not only gave Israel 72 hours warning ahead of its missile strikes, but it also told the Zionist regime exactly where the missiles would hit, all of which landed harmlessly, of course, killing not even one Israeli soldier. And as for Hezbollah, they have done even less to help the Palestinians in their greatest hour of need. What you're watching on your screen now is the full extent to which Hezbollah has attacked Israel since October 7th. If Iran and its proxies are unwilling to help Palestinians in any meaningful way today, then they never will. It's just an undeniable fact that the mullahs in Tehran are all too happy for Israel to annex and colonize Gaza. But let me finish with what I believe to be the most critical point of this episode. Every good story demands a hero and a villain, but when it comes to rescuing the Palestinian people, there simply are no heroes. Certainly not at the nation-state level. Which means Palestinians have only us, and by us I mean every concerned and moral citizen of the world. Therefore, we have a responsibility to keep doing what we are doing, long after the bombs stop dropping on Gaza, because this fight has only just begun. My fear is many who are new to the Palestinian liberation movement believe that a ceasefire is the ultimate objective here. It's not. The total liberation of Palestine is the mission, and I mean every square inch of it, from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea. The boycott movement, which is our movement, is isolating Israel economically and culturally like never before. This will eventually strangle the Zionist state, I'm damn sure of it. And one final point, a big shout out to the Iraqi researcher Zumas for helping put this episode together. Thank you. Anyway, that's my time for today. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we kindly ask you please support our effort to expose and confront injustices in the Muslim world by becoming a member of this show at patreon.com/CJWerleman. We can't produce, sustain and grow this show without your help, and we offer exclusive benefits to those who do. But for now, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, and stay blessed.